Yo, it's Q. It's your boy Q the Don, man, and this is the King Me podcast. Listen, man, my guy B, he out right now, but to my left, we got a guest, and to my right, we got a guest. Y'all fellas, introduce yourselves.
For sure. What's up, Q, man? You know, it's Mr. Hiltfield himself, Tommy. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for having me again on. Hey, man, we had a fire episode last time,
sir.
So, hey, man, I'm looking for the same thing.
Yes, sir.
So what's up, man? My name is Reggie, and I'd like to thank these guys for having me here, man. And I like to thank God.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being here too, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all now, we ain't got no format because we flow better when we just flow. You feel me? Everything
Right.
ain't got to be planned out.
Right.
Perfection is overrated.
That's it.
But I got to say this. The episode last week, man, we got so many great reviews because the young man TJ and the man behind the camera, Mr. Yusef, man. Listen, man, y'all dudes, man, y'all put us on last week, man. Y'all dropped bars and gems all episode long, man. We appreciate y'all for that, man. Everybody was talking about it. But, you know, we got to hit on something that we was talking about last week.
Hey, yeah, for sure.
We definitely got to hit on that. So last week we were talking about, you know, Yusef was saying about this teaching your kids the mindset of money, like learning that. So he made a statement. He was like something along the lines of, you know, you got to teach your kids that. So it got me to thinking. So what about the kids without dads? Is that our responsibility to kind of like teach them and get them going? Like, who looks out for the kids without the dads with that mindset? Like, what you guys think about that?
I think it's our responsibility. You don't have to be his dad or whatever. I think it's our responsibility to help these women out, single women especially, because I think just looking at social media and you watch these people who talk about money, businesses and whatnot, but when you're getting it from a person like right in front of you, like, you know, I think it's better, you know, because there's no distraction.
Okay.
So I think we can help with that instead of versus social media.
Okay, so to you, what that look like? Like you start a group, like what you doing? Like how you implementing that maybe?
Well, you can start a group. I feel like the podcast is good for that. You know, I encourage kids to look at podcasts. You know, because it's very, you know, it encourages them to do better and to do well and to do what they want to do. They don't have to do what we do, but it encourages them to do what they want to do.
Okay, I rock with that.
Yeah, just for me, that's like a community thing, man. And one of the biggest things that we should have and maintain is a good community. And just by default, when you have the right example around you, it's just going to rub off. And a lot of people say, man, you're a good role model. You're a good role model. To me, like, I don't play a role. This is a real model.
Right, I'm with that.
I see it as a real model, man.
Right.
And one of the things that I've been challenged with since having my son is always, or when he first came into this world, man, God asked me, like, man, are you satisfied with your son being how you were or how you are presently? And just from that alone, that gave me a mindset shift. Not saying that I was just this terrible person doing terrible things, but it was certain things that, you know, I didn't want to have him doing. So I think community is a big part, and also allowing those men to be there.
Right.
A lot of times, man, we give men that cold shoulder.
Right.
In regards to, you know, I ain't even gonna say men, just our community. It seems like we can't tell another person's kid anything, and when something goes awry, it's like, man, who was there? And nobody can answer because we're not allowed to be there. So that's what I think is a community thing. Like, even growing up, for myself and for all of y'all, we had a community of men that, you know, that took care of us. Like, I can look at my grandparents, my uncles, and they're still here to this day. Man, they would come pick us up on Saturdays, man, doing yard work, go fishing, anything in essence of being a real man. And like, that's not necessarily always money, because like money runs out, you know, status runs out, but like the essence of who you are as a man, like those are the things that's going to stay with you forever. And like those are the things I'm teaching the men around me, the young kids around me, because like they really need it. They really need it. So Man, I just think we have to bring community back into us, and that's unity in the community.
Right.
And like unity is in that word. I mean, community is in the word. Well, unity is in the word community.
Right.
So like that's what I believe.
And I feel that because, when we were growing up, if somebody in the neighborhood saw you doing something that you weren't supposed to be doing,
Right.
I'm gonna tell.
they're gonna tell. And
I'm gonna tell your dad. I'm gonna tell your mom.
They'll
Right.
pop you.
Yeah,
Right.
they're gonna get you themselves first.
Right.
Now,
They gonna get you
it's like
themselves
they don't
first.
want, you can't do it now because you're
Yeah.
like, am I gonna get in trouble? Am I gonna get shot?
Yeah, man, I'm telling you.
Right,
You
right.
know?
Yeah,
Even we don't even want people to touch our kids. Some people,
I'm telling
or
you.
tell our kids nothing.
telling you.
Man.
Right.
Like,
So
know?
so when I'm thinking about it, like from y'all perspective, you said what you think about it? Is it our responsibility?
I don't know if it's our responsibility.
Okay.
I will say I don't necessarily agree with our responsibility, because responsibility means if I don't do it, then I'm to blame.
Hey,
Good
that's
point.
a fact.
Good point.
If I don't do it, then I'm to blame.
Okay, like
but
Because
go ahead, break
because
that
let me-
down a little bit more for me.
No, call me by that. Is
Not
this.
saying you wrong.
No, because like let's say like I work in education and I work with kids every day.
Yeah,
I've probably impacted thousands of kids.
Thousands, yeah, for sure.
that just off of my interaction with them as an English teacher and then as a basketball coach. I've been a basketball coach maybe 15 years now. And I always treat my players and my students like they're my kids.
right,
So that's me, and that's not necessarily my responsibility. It's what I choose to do.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
I could choose not to.
Right.
And that would be just fine because I have my own kids to raise.
For sure,
Right.
for sure.
And I'm gonna tell you where I'm leading back to. But like people who are not working day to day with kids,
right,
it's not their. If we're saying it's our responsibility as men to seek out these kids,
Right.
if I don't come across them, it's not my responsibility to seek these kids out. Now, if I have a nephew who daddy ain't there, a cousin whose daddy ain't there, a family friend, or shoot, you done got a lady that got. You know what I'm saying? She got a kid. She got a young man. You know what I'm saying? Now you're in his life. Then, yeah, that does become your responsibility because these are people within your circle. But saying outwardly to the world that it's our responsibility,
Yeah.
I'm not sure because the second let's say like me as a father, I wouldn't say but I have been instrumental in about maybe 200 basketball players going to college and playing basketball at the next level. I coach with one of the Adidas programs that fully sponsored by Adidas. I work with them closely. I have the opportunity to go there or I have the opportunity to stay local. Had a conversation with my friend who's actually the person that makes those decisions. And he was like, and I told him, I said, listen, I'm going to take a step back from that and I want to stay local. The reason I want to stay local, and he was like, I was going to say the same thing. I said, well, you tell me why you said that. He said, because after all you done poured into these other kids, it's your son's time now. Right. He's in the 7th grade. It's time for me to put him first over these other kids. So those other kids have now taken a back seat to my son. So because I can continue with this Adidas program, which would be cool and all of that. But no, I need to stay closer to home so that I can help him.
yeah,
Because if you're helping everybody else,
right,
I go by this saying. My grandmother told it to me. When you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else.
yeah,
So if I have my own kids and it's my responsibility to help other kids, I'm taking time away from my kids.
right.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay.
So it's not as a person with kids, it's not my responsibility, and I'm not taking it as my responsibility. Now, if in essence I do affect a child or a young man because they're in my circumference, then cool. I'm affecting them by how I act, how I hold them accountable.
Right.
I may teach them things like that. I may teach them things just by the way I move. The fact that I'm not none of my players' friends. My players don't text me on no friend stuff
Right.
at all.
Right.
They text my assistant coaches that stuff. There's a line. This is a business that we're in. And although I am here as your mentor, I'm here to guide you. I'm here to help you. At the end of the day, once these 4 years is up, I got another set of kids I got to help.
Coming in, yeah.
Well, I get what you're saying, but
So that's why I say when we saying words matter.
yeah,
So when we're saying responsibility, That's saying if I don't
That's a
do
heavy
it.
word.
That's a heavy word. It's I'm responsible for the kids I gave birth to. Oh, well, I didn't give birth to. Their mamas gave birth to. But I'm responsible for them, the people who I helped bring life into this world for. I'm not responsible to anybody else's kid or for anybody else's kid. Because when we start talking about responsibility and we see it as our responsibility, what happens when that kid fails? What do we see it as?
Right.
They looking at
I
you.
get what you're saying, but
We see it as a failure by me.
I was speaking on the sense of, and you also said how we affect them. Because like through this podcast, we're going to reach a lot of kids. You know, we can't like just physically sit in front of every kid. We affect them by what we tell them.
Yeah, and that's why I
And
say,
by what we discuss here between us, we affect the kids that's watching.
Now,
But I get what you're saying.
Yeah, now if we change the word from responsibility to like, should we help or should we do or what can we do to affect?
Right.
Because I just think the responsibility word of it, that word is the word that I take issue with. Because if I say this is I've done a good bit in my life. It was a kid, he was in the 7th grade, kid named Chris Turner. I met him in the 7th grade. This kid slashed the principal tires. He cussed the principal out. He was so bad, they put him out of school and said, hey, we don't even want to send you to the alternative school. You just going to go to the high school. You don't even got to come back to school no more. And he had a dude, as long as he was playing basketball, his dad was locked up. And his dad was close friends with the basketball coach at the middle school. And the coach said all the time he would come to Chris Rescue. Soon as Chris was done with basketball at the middle school, he was in the 8th grade at that time. He said to me, hey, man, that boy ain't going to be shit, man. Don't go help him. Because he was done with basketball. So they put him out. He's at the house. He's texting dude, hey, Unc, I'm hungry because his mom wasn't feeding him at the house. She wasn't at the house. Priorities was jacked up. So I done said, Chris done signed up for my mentoring program because I started a mentoring program.
Right.
I figured since the way I came up, it was my job to help. I thought it was my responsibility. And this is gonna, and I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna mess you up when you get to the end of this. So, and I'm going to make it quick. I end up adopting Chris. I went to Chris's mom and I said, yo, I wanna help. Apparently you can't handle him. I'll take him in. I'll take him with me. I was married at the time. I took Chris in. The first thing Mama said, you don't want to claim him on your taxes, do you? I was like, no.
That's wild.
I said, you can have it. And so we signed the paperwork. It became legit. Chris came to live with me. I was teaching whatever school I was teaching at, he went to. Chris went from failing every class as a 9th grader to graduating high school, getting a full football scholarship. Now he has a master's, and he's about to get married in Hawaii, of all places. He can afford to get married in Hawaii. He ended up with a tryout with the Washington Redskins. He's now working. Him and his fiance are working in like Iowa, Indiana, something like that. But he's successful. He did something with his life. He has 2 children of his own. I ended up divorced over Chris. Because I brought an outside child into my home. And I'm not saying that was the main reason, but that was
part of it.
a reason. And then Chris stayed with me through my next relationship.
Right.
And remember, I'm dealing with a kid who got problems.
Right.
But I also got 4 kids of my own.
Right.
And I said yes to Chris, which was saying no to my other kids.
Right.
And their moms saw that because I'm taking Chris over here, taking him over there, and taking him over here. And Chris went a while out in school one day. I got to threaten him with stuff. And, he's living in the house with me and my fiance and his kid. I ended up, my life to help him,
Right.
which I thought was my responsibility,
Right.
ended up costing me a marriage and ended up weakening my engagement to my next supposed going-to-be wife. Because they said I put everybody's kids ahead of mine. And I put this kid, particularly, who I brought into the home without asking anybody. Because I felt like it was my responsibility. Because I saw myself in him and nobody helped me, so I wanted to help him.
Right.
But wait, it gets worse. I not only took Chris in, I took in a kid named Eric. And because I took in Eric, I had to take in his brother. At one time, I was in the house by myself, couldn't see my own biological kids because I was taking in other people's kids. And where Chris is the success, Eric is dead. Eric got shot. Taking on that responsibility, and that hurt me because I feel like I failed. Because I didn't fully get him out the street. I would let them go home on the weekend. Eric didn't come back after the weekend one time. And I went to his house. I said, yo, Eric, what we doing? He said, hey, man, coach, I got to do what I got to do, man. Ain't no lights in the house. My mama can't live like this. So you know what I got to do. Eric went right back to the street. Came to my house like 2 weeks later, got his stuff, moved him and his brother back to his mama's house because he had to go slang. He had to go do his thing. He had to hustle.
Hey, man, that's...
Yeah.
But you see what I'm saying? So you got I ended up with two ends of the spectrum and ended up sacrificing because I ended up...
You got the short end.
Yeah.
Me, personally. That's why when we talking about responsibility, because I thought it was my responsibility.
Well,
and now if you talk to Chris, you can't talk to Eric, but you talk to Eric brother, they'll tell you the best thing that ever happened to them was me. But my kids see it as
a slight.
Because I spent more time with other people's kids than I spent with them, even though it was their mother who said, oh, if you're going to go do that, then you're not going to be over here with these.
right.
Even though I fought to try to see them, and the kids don't see the fight.
Yeah, I don't see that.
So you see what I'm saying? So when we're talking about responsibility, we got to remember when you say yes to something, you're saying no, because you only have but so much time.
But I don't get what you're saying, but you took him in versus like we're responsible. I mean, like as a whole, we're all responsible as men and women to put out the word. See, these kids got to do the work too. You can't bring everybody into your house. You didn't have to.
Oh, you think I don't know that now?
I mean, you don't. I'm just saying, you don't. In general, you don't have to help a kid by bringing him in.
Okay.
But if we're saying responsibility, but if we use it
to hear you,
but if we're
talked to him, but these kids, they got to do the work too, though.
Man, listen, some kids, this kid was not eating in his house.
Yeah.
Circumstances matter and nuances matter.
You know what I'm saying? So as a man who figured that it was his responsibility, like now I think differently.
I feel you.
Because I've been through it, I done sacrificed.
Yeah. Experiences shape our
Exactly.
reality.
So when we're talking about, I thought it was my responsibility because there was nobody there for me that was like me.
Okay.
Hey, so he's essentially saying a few things, and I think one thing that's most important to Yusef is saying, like, I have a standard myself.
Right.
And if you're not willing to be a part of the standard that I'm setting, I can't do nothing for you.
Right.
Like, and you're saying the same thing pretty much.
Yeah.
And two, he's defending himself in a way that's beneficial to him because of the experience that he had, man. Like, that's heavy. So I can see, and that's why I said I wanted to hear more about why you said you don't see it as a responsibility.
Because
like, I understand that perspective, man. Like, that's a lot. You lost
because you went all in.
Yeah, I lost stuff.
You went
things
all
that
in.
were important.
I get it.
Exactly.
And
essential, not only important, but essential.
Yeah.
Because
like,
I ended up not talking to my daughter and my son from my marriage.
That was my next thing.
I lost 8 years of their life.
Bo.
That's a lot.
My son 8.
I lost 8 years.
I can't imagine that.
I left. Yeah. No, it was more than that because when we got divorced, they were 2 and 3. I didn't come back into their lives until they were 15 and 16.
So let me ask you this.
That's heavy.
Did the next woman understand?
Yeah, she was there with me, but it was to a point.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You see, it's because when I met her, Chris was already living with me.
Right.
And then she had a son.
Right.
And then she got pregnant. And now we had another son. And then we had another son.
Well,
so now it's 4 kids in here, and one of them don't belong to her. So eventually, guess what happens? Well, you putting more time into this kid than your own kids or my kid.
Yeah, she's seeing.
I get it.
So now it's all good. Oh man, you're an amazing man. You took this kid in, and you're doing all these things to help the community until it affects
At
you
what cost?
in your house.
At
what cost?
So for me,
I get it.
So for me, I look at it like, because I never really thought about it from that perspective until actually hearing what you just said, and that's
right.
So with the responsibility now, and I'm actually glad we had this conversation because most of the time we see eye to eye on just about everything we discuss. I still feel like we have a responsibility, but maybe not to
that degree.
Right. Like, because I'm more like you in the way that I will probably like go in overdrive to save this kid that I see myself in. Like, and I feel like I would do that. Like, you know, I would be like, but hearing from you, like, bro, that's a heavy cost, bro.
Right.
That's a very heavy cost.
Now, do I feel blessed that I saved a kid?
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
That kid would never thought, he didn't think he was going to graduate high school, ended up with a football scholarship.
That man
He
got
has a
180.
master's degree.
That's a 180, man.
Well,
And he did not pay, he has no debt, he has no nothing. No student loans,
A lot of us
no
don't even
nothing.
get one.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so for him, Eric on the other hand,
Yeah.
and Eric's son, Eric had a son when he got shot. You know what I'm saying? I still talk to his brother, I still talk to his moms, I talk to his son. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in their lives, but it drastically affected how I did things going forward. Because when I got the job moving up to this area, there was a kid that I was about to do the same thing for.
Right.
And the principal called me in the office and he said, Coach, I hired an English teacher and a basketball coach. I did not hire a social worker. So you decide which job you want, and then I need you to act accordingly.
Go ahead.
Man, I'm gonna say this, man. Like, I'm spiritual. I'm on a spiritual. You did God's work, man. Like, I understand what that principal, whoever was telling you, you're not a social worker, but you are a social worker. Like, and I'm talking about like in the presence of God.
But
You
that
know what
was
I'm
to
saying?
the point that,
Well, I'm not gonna get that deep.
but he
you
was
get what I'm saying.
he was saying something to the point of what you said just
Right.
now. Who has to do the work?
God.
The child.
The kid got to
kid,
do the
right,
work.
the kid, right.
That's what you said.
Right.
So that's what he was
You can
telling me.
lead him, but he gotta do the
That's
work.
what he was telling me.
Right,
I was going
right.
so hard for this kid.
Right. Right.
And now, mind you, when I got there, I'm just meeting this kid.
Yeah.
So he's like, I said, man, this kid, because I took him to South Carolina State camp. And they was like, yo, this kid is great. He was 6'6", Kahoot. And they was like, man, this kid is really good. Hey, his grades ain't straight. Hey, look, just get him through the year. South Carolina State said they'll pay for him to go to Denmark Tech. After he finishes 2 years, we'll give him a scholarship. That's what they said. So I'm like, shoot. So I go to the principal because the principal said this boy cannot play basketball at this school. I don't care what you say. And I said, well, what can we do? He said he just has, if he gets no referrals, we're good. First day of school, boy, get a referral.
Oh,
I go to the doggone principal. Oh, let's not do it. Okay, coach, no problem.
Right.
2 days later, another referral.
Yeah. I like
Then
what
another
you do.
referral. And I kept fighting for the kid to play. And then that's when he called me in.
Now that
And he was like, you're sacrificing your job
I
for this
definitely agree
one.
with that.
He was like, and you got 30 other kids that you're going to have
But
to
how,
coach.
how
and
was
deal
you
with.
sacrificing your job though?
Because at the end of the day, when I'm hired to do two things,
Right.
teach kids and win. That's what I'm hired to do.
Right.
However else I affect me personally, my job, I think my job is in three things.
Right.
One, I'm supposed to create young great men. That's what I'm supposed to do. The second thing, I'm supposed to get them to graduate on time.
Right.
That's the second thing. The third thing is to create college-eligible, college-ready basketball players. And if I'm doing those three things, winning just kind of happens. That's how I've taken my job on.
Right.
Winning just kind of happens because if you got 5 or 10
That's
college
winning right
caliber
there.
fellas, yeah,
That's winning right there.
That's winning right there. Kids
winning.
graduating,
Right.
kids signing to go to school. That's all winning.
I got you.
But it does. Winning is a
It
thing.
helps. It helps.
Winning is a thing. Do you think if I lose the school I work at?
I was just about to
Do you
say
think if I lose
schools
on-
matter.
If I lose Tuesday, I'm probably fired on Wednesday from that job. They're not gonna fire me from the school. I could probably go just be a regular teacher. I won't be coaching no basketball there.
Because they have a high pride for their school. So to spin it back to what something you said, I really think, like you said, spiritually, because I'm on that.
Yeah,
I think it's our duty and our assignment to be to look out for our fellow man. But like we could learn from this because there is a certain level. Because the Bible says faith without works is dead.
Right.
So I can have all the faith in you that I want to have in you,
Right.
but you got to
until-
put in
Right.
the work.
You gotta put in the work.
Put in the work.
So even though I feel as though it is a responsibility, I'm only gonna go as far as
Right.
you're willing to go.
I
So
got you. Yeah.
therefore,
Right. I got that.
my bad. Therefore, if you not really okay, so if every day I'm telling you, look, man, you see, I'm showing up, I'm doing my part.
Right.
Bro, you got to meet me in the middle. You got to
Right.
do your part.
Right.
So
Right.
although
Right.
it's my responsibility and it's a mandate by God to be a servant and to help my fellow
Right.
man,
Right.
bro, you even God to tell you, faith without works is dead, like I said before.
Right.
So if you not working,
Right.
you could pray all day. If you like this, if I say, man, I want this house. Well, how much money you got? No skin in the game. Well, you got a job? No, I ain't got no job. You got it? you don't really want it because you're not doing the work that says
exactly.
I want it. So therefore, I definitely.
And I had to learn because there's a balance to what we do. You know what I mean? And I was so far left early that it affected, I sacrificed other things. So now I found the balance of I'm going to help those who want the help.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
But I'm going to put a standard on what I get. I got a kid on the team right now that always got in trouble. And so when he made the team, I called him in my office and I said, hey, man, I said, we ain't going to do what we did last year. I said, so what I need you to do is I need you to walk this straight line. I said, now, if you tell me that you could walk this straight line, you good. You on the team. And he was about to answer me. I said, I said, I want you to go home.
I understand what
I want you to go to sleep.
Right.
I said, and when you wake up in the morning, I did say answer me, but I don't need you to answer me. I need you to look in the mirror. I need you to answer yourself.
Right.
And if you answer yourself, yes, I can do all the things coach is going to ask me to do. Then you could just show up to practice and I'll give you a uniform. That boy did not come to practice.
Right.
He didn't come to practice?
No, because he knew he couldn't do it.
Because he couldn't do it.
Now, in December, after the Christmas holiday, he came back because he had been through some things. And he was like, I could do it, coach. And he said, I could do it.
You did? You
so I put him on the team.
So, okay, boom, here we go.
And so now,
responsibility. You did your job.
And the other night he scored 6 points, helps us win.
Right. But I get it. You know, we're responsible.
You know what I'm saying? So I think you got to put you got to put the onus where it belongs, and it's on the kid. So we got to put the responsibility where it belongs, and it belongs on the person that we're trying to change. Because if you're dealing with a kid and you saying it's our responsibility to help these kids, and we're dealing with a kid that don't want to change, and no matter what we do, no matter what we say, no matter what example we set, it's not going to work. So the responsibility goes on the person that is responsible for their life, and that's the kid.
And I put it like this: it's shared responsibility.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Shared responsibility because
now if he wants my help, now
that's different.
Now I'm here.
Shared
responsibility. He gotta want it. Right.
I get it.
You know what I'm saying? And
I like that.
Because if he wants the responsibility of holding himself accountable, then he could deal with me holding him accountable.
You got to do that first.
And he don't have to live with me for that.
You got to do that.
Because now he's out in the street.
Right.
See, I had to take a kid. I felt like I had to take the kids out of the environment for them to change.
Right.
And sometimes you just have to change where you are for it to be lasting.
Right. You got to change where you are.
Because I feel like what you just said, honestly, that's one of the biggest helps that I can give you, because at the end of the day, in life, you're not going to always be able to move where you want to move. So you got to have the integrity, the self-discipline, the wherewithal to say, no matter, and if everybody around, and I hate to use this as an example, if everybody around me fired some crack right now, I got to be able to say, I'm not participating in that.
Yeah. Even if I'm there.
Even if I'm there, I'm not participating.
I'm not doing
Listen, man, I get it. Man, listen, I done been out there, like, gotta have this, man.
Yeah.
Listen, I had decent parents, man, and still went astray. You know what I'm saying?
Most definitely.
Because at the end of the day, no matter what they told me, it was still on me. You know? And to this day, money, I may not have the money or what else that I really, really want, but you know what? I have faith. I have everything I have is mine, though. House, car, whatever. You know, anything about that. But I'm just saying, you're not gonna get everything that you want in life. You gotta have faith and peace within yourself.
Man, that peace.
You gotta
is a
know
big
who
thing.
you are among everything else in life. I'm telling you.
Man, that peace is a big
And
thing.
these kids are not getting it. That's why it's so much violence, gun violence, trouble out here right now. We see it, but
But to go back to an earlier point y'all made, talking about the community and people not stepping up, it's mainly because the kids are from a generation of kids who didn't want to be held accountable.
But okay, so when we talk about that, where that started at?
The people that are raising these kids,
the parents who trickle down.
The parents of these kids,
trickle down.
They didn't want to be held accountable for nothing.
Okay.
So that's why you can't say nothing to their kid.
Because that's why you can't say nothing to
it's the people raising them.
Yusef, you said some
real
stuff just now, dog.
Think about it now. I didn't.
That's a good point.
They didn't like when somebody else told them what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was a head coach. It's two things. I was a coach in Denmark, and all the kids on the team was in the gang. It was 2 gangs in Denmark. Every single kid was in the gang.
Come on, boy.
I asked them, I said, yo, who's the head of these gangs? They told me, hey, this person, I said, shoot me their number. Invited them over to the house. I cooked. I had drinks. And sat down. I said, hey, man, I just want to break some bread with y'all. I said, can y'all do me a favor? They ate everything. Man, coach, man, you cool, man. I ain't know. I said, I just need y'all to do me a favor. Leave these boys alone until they graduate. I said, don't you wish somebody would have done that for you?
All right.
I said, some of these dudes got a chance to go off to college and make some of themselves. I said, now, if they graduate and they don't do nothing with themselves, by all means,
on them.
That's on them.
That's on them.
I said, but at least let them finish high school.
You give them a chance.
They was like, you know what, coach? We got you. Them boy can't be around us no more.
Because I get what you're saying.
And it was just that simple. Them boys
education is very important because everybody can't grind without college.
Right.
I didn't go to college.
But
everybody don't got that grind in them that get up without college, man.
Well,
everybody can't do that.
It was more so, for me, it wasn't even, I don't know if it was the point of them going to college. It was just the point of, hey, let them be,
chance, dog.
Let them be kids to figure stuff out before we start putting them in these situations where they're going to end up in jail before they get a chance to start their life.
Right, exactly.
Because like we had the people, like I remember me and my boy L, 10th grade, we smoking in the damn park.
Right.
2 dudes, we played AAU for their team. The biggest drug dealers in town.
Right.
Chad and Money. Money comes down there. He sees us smoking. He smokes with us.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, give me some. Boom, smokes with us. All right, fellas, daps us up, leaves. Maybe 10 minutes pass. Dudes run up on us, beat our ass in the park. I'm talking about, I've been in a bunch of fights. I ain't never got my ass whooped like that before. and then who it was goddamn Chad. Let me catch you niggas smoking out here again. Mind you was just smoking with me. Let me catch you out here smoking again. Y'all boys got something to do. Y'all got basketball practice. He said, yo, man, you play football. Nah, man. Nah, you not about to do this.
Hey, you're right, man.
I tell you what, I never did again. I never went down to that damn park to smoke.
You ain't did that no more, though.
But
you ain't did it no more.
But that's how I came up. I came up with that. We don't have that because the people that are the parents now, you can't. A teacher cannot reprimand a kid without a parent calling and saying, why you said it to my son?
And they gonna protect the student.
Yeah.
Phones are illegal in school. You cannot have a phone in school. If you take that child's phone, I guarantee you that parent come up there, they are going to get on your ass. Because these are the parents who did not want any accountability,
crazy,
and they're raising kids who don't want accountability. Right. So guess what's gonna happen? We're gonna have more kids that don't want no accountability.
Man, to your point, man, I was working with this girl. And she, I guess her daughter, they got a dress code in school. I guess the little girl had I think they said.
It has to be fingertip length.
Yeah, okay, so the little girl had a skirt on that was too short. So the guidance counselor, Emil, called the mom and was like, hey, can you bring your daughter some changing clothes? The girl, instead of saying, I shouldn't have let her out the house with that, I shouldn't have bought that, she got mad with the guidance counselor. What is he looking at my baby for? So me, being who I am, she get to saying her spiel. I said, can I ask you a question? I said, you don't think you should be appreciative that man went trying to call your daughter in a room and play with her? I said, you're mad with him because, but what is he looking at her? I said, yo, I can clearly see if a skirt is too little but you're mad with this man for telling you to bring your daughter a change of clothes and really trying to help y'all out. Right. You're more mad with that than you are with yourself for saying, why do my daughter have on a pair of something that go that? Like,
that you bought.
Exactly.
Right. That goes back to
you bought your daughter this.
He said parents, they just take it a different way. You can't say nothing to these kids, man.
Yeah, it's different.
You can't say it's different.
But
I'm telling you.
But I think that you have to continue doing it, whether the parent likes it or not.
Yeah, you got to.
Because my thing is, listen, I'm responsible for what I say and do.
Right.
I am not responsible for your reaction.
Because they can be like, Yusef saw me with it on. He ain't say nothing.
That part.
Like,
that's him.
Like,
and then sometimes, like y'all saying now, where you have a lot of kids that don't, for whatever home situation they got going on, for where they don't really feel their parents. Whatever their parents say, they kind of not into it. But we all know everybody that plays sports, little league sports, all the way up into high school, however far you got, your coach had a very big impact in your life. And your mama might tell you, son, blase, blase. But when that coach say something,
Hey,
it's a completely different ball game, bro.
to this day, I still call all the coaches that I ever had. I still call them the man coach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Still call him
don't
coach,
call
right.
them anything other than coach.
As the respect.
Yeah.
Like,
Respect,
because
man.
that's the impact that's so important
Right.
in the lives of sports. And one thing too, just to bring it all together is, man, what Yusef does, what any of us do, is not for us to be like, oh, to say I'm proud of you. Like, one thing that I always tell my son is like, hey man, the things you do, you have to be proud with yourself.
Big
You
time.
got to be proud with yourself with the things that you do.
But
Now, if you're not proud, that comes from a place of shame or guilt because you believe that you didn't hold the standard that you have that you had before you or that you have set for yourself. So it's not about making me proud. My son is great in Taekwondo. He's like 3 belts away from a black belt.
Oh, man.
just want to touch on that. This is a very good subject. Like what we're talking about. I just feel for the kids that's doing good because I didn't see kids go astray because I did. Like I said, I had decent parents, man. I went astray, and I was
What made you go astray, Rich?
curious.
Speak on that a little bit.
Just being curious. I ain't blaming nobody. I stopped blaming people, and I started blaming myself. I mean, right. Started pointing a finger at myself, and that's when I started to get it. But a lot of these kids ain't. Some of them gonna get it. A lot of them not gonna get it because we know, man. They around here. Listen, man. They got tools this big, man. You know, because like you said, whatever they got going on at home, man, they want to kill each other. I don't understand it.
They got the biggest
I don't
tool already,
understand it,
though,
bro.
Reggie. They got the biggest tool already. This right here. This
Right,
your
but they ain't
biggest
using
tool.
that one. They using
But
this
no,
one.
they're using it.
Right,
But
for the wrong reason.
They're misguided. Like
Right.
all these gangsters and all,
Right.
like they're just misguided men.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So in that essence,
Exactly.
we have to nurture
Yeah.
the mind.
Right.
You know, and like always, like as the mind goes, the body will follow.
Right.
You can't do anything with
Right.
your body until your mind
Right.
formulates it and you conceptualize it and make it into a reality. So we have to just feed more into those things that the kids are
doing well.
in.
Right.
And one thing too that even my high school band teacher, shout out to Mr. Henderson, one thing he always did was make things relatable. He made things relatable. He knew I loved basketball. So he made music and basketball relate. He made a free throw relate to
Right.
how your rhythm is and you know what I'm saying, dribbling and how your coordination should be and things like that. So I think that's another thing too. Not in the sense of like, oh man, like with tools that you speaking of.
Right.
But just, hey man, you got to dig deeper into these kids and,
get what you're
and
saying.
challenge them
Challenge
to
them.
see what it is that they're really into because, man,
It's
I know for
something.
myself, like I'm a reader,
Right.
but that fell off of me because of the peer pressure that was surrounded me in regards to reading. Oh, you a nerd, you a blurred. I like anime, things like that. So
you're
I
weird,
I shied away from those things, not realizing that we're not a monolith. Black men aren't just one way. And we should dispel that stereotype and saying, oh, you're not a man if you don't do X, Y, D, or if you do X, Y, and Z. So we have to really dig deep and say, hey, man, like, that's cool, but is that what you really like? Because there are some things that I gave up that I thought I would never give up. And as I thought about it, like you said, I didn't blame anybody. I was like, yo, is this something that is really a part of me, or is this something that I picked up
Right.
from a negative situation that I was in at the moment? Because a lot of times we pick up things that don't even belong to us.
Don't even belong to them.
And also to your point, man, 2 things. Picking up stuff that don't belong to you. That's why it's very important for parents to know, watch who your kids around because spiritual warfare is a real thing.
Amen.
And a lot of times things get a hold to your kids, even through music, through visual stuff that they see. That stuff get a hold to those kids, and then you wondering why. You don't know what goes on in somebody's household. You send your child, oh yeah, you can go play with your friend at their house. You don't know what spiritual stuff is going on. And number 2, the mindset thing. We have to get back to the basics if we can to reach these kids to tell them this. If there's one thing that my daddy taught me that stood out above the rest, it's this one thing: be your own man, son. At the end of the day, be your own man, because a lot of times I feel like that's where these kids messed up at. They not their own man. You would be surprised how many times you go to a game, everybody in there all got on the same clothes.
Got the same thing going
everybody
on.
walk like young boy. Everybody want to be. Yo, be your
Got
own
the
man.
the ski mask.
Right, be your own man, son. So like, I feel like, you know, if everybody take the approach like we dealing with a lost generation, the generation is lost.
It is lost.
So at the end of the day, it's guys like ourselves, not too preachy, not coming across as like I've never had right,
like you never done nothing.
Right, like I've never done anything.
Right.
Like you said yourself,
I did it.
I've had my stuff.
Right.
But I took responsibility.
Right, exactly.
So teaching these kids, take responsibility, be your own man, and like just that's how we get back to the basics. Because if everybody thinks that I don't like to use this term, but YNs are lost causes, they're going to be lost. Because sometimes all you need, not every time, because I'm gonna start by saying this, you can't save everybody.
You can't.
And we know that.
You can't.
But if you can reach one, and that one can reach somebody else, after a while,
You're doing the work.
everybody's connected.
You're still doing the work. You're doing the work.
So man,
you're doing the work.
And to say again, to put both of y'all points into a bigger perspective, man, I did a food program. I did breakfast and lunch for the kids in West Florence. It was some time ago. And to this day, one of the kids that I fed, man, he works at Walmart, you know, man. And if you consider the situation that he was in, it's no way, well, not no way, but it'll be hard for him to be outside of that. Him and his sister are doing well, but on the opposite end of that, to you, Yusef, about Eric getting shot liver, on that same end, the same kid that I fed, man, 13, 14 years old, man, shot dead because he didn't buy in or he didn't see what it mean. I ain't even gonna take it that far, but by the time I had my first child at 26, he was about to have his second child at 17.
Right.
So,
but
like things like that, man, we have to consider a lot of things, man. So, Yusef, man, you flipped the script with that experience that you shared with us in regards to responsibility.
Right.
Reggie, you brought in the knowledge of. How old are you, Reggie?
50, man.
You 50.
A lot of people won't believe it, but I'm 50.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have guessed that.
You know what I'm saying?
But you brought the knowledge of saying, like, hey, man, like, in essence, it is a part of our responsibility as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the fact that we all came together and got to an understanding, that's what I believe is real important.
Right, because if they see this, you know, like you said, it may not change him, but it may change him, and him.
Even to the point that y'all guys just said, you know, you said watching this helps kids. You said, you know, we came to an agreement because there was a difference of opinion, and that don't always mean this for the young. This is for the young guys. We just gonna throw this one in here.
come on with the cue.
Just because there's a difference of opinion, that don't mean no lives have to be lost. Right. That don't mean we're beefing. That don't mean we could never talk again. Right, because everybody has a difference of opinion.
Exactly.
Maybe I didn't see it his way until he explained it.
Right.
Maybe he didn't see it my way until I explained it. That's why communication is such a big thing.
See that?
Like and even my bad, bro. Even with the anger thing,
man,
we have to learn to communicate these things, because if a lot of beefs, a lot of things could be stopped by just communicating, because a lot of things be misunderstanding. Oh, I didn't see your point of view. I didn't know you thought about it like this, because your perception is your reality. So therefore, if I say something and it come across as a subliminal on social media to you, you might take it, all right, I got something for him.
That's it, yeah.
When you could have just hit me up like, bro, hey, what exactly,
you meant by it?
What exactly did you mean by that? Not were you checking me? Because for one, we got to stop using, I ain't checking nobody. But I'm asking you as a man, like,
clarity.
Bro, yeah, for clarity. Like, bro, what you meant by that? Oh, bro, all I was saying was, and we got to be man enough to understand, like, you explaining that ain't you tucking your tail. You explaining that don't make you less than a man, bro. That make you real.
I'm about to say, that's the way to garner respect from one another, and, like, just coming together. And like you say, it's not beef. It's not, this is what I really want to say. There's no such thing as right or wrong. Is no such, and most situations of communication is no such thing as right or wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because
break that down for us.
In the sense, it was a book I read called "Don't Believe Everything That You Think," or it's called, and deals with overthinking. And a lot of times when we have these misunderstandings, it's our ego that gets in the way of us seeing the perspective of one another.
Right.
And once we bring our ego into the equation, man, everything else just falls off. Right. Everything else is non-existent because we're not seeing it from a place of Q or Reggie.
Right.
I'm seeing it from my viewpoint and my viewpoint only. I'm right.
Right.
He wrong. But once you experience that ego death,
right,
or experience your shadow self, and you look at it like, man, I was just really taking it personal. When most things aren't to be taken personal. It's just, like we said, the experience that they had with the thing. It's just a story.
Right.
It's just a story. That's all it is.
And then to add to that, also understanding that there's a lot of variables that go into every scenario.
Nuances, yeah.
So we always look at things from a surface level, like when they was just talking a minute ago. If these wasn't mature males and understanding, it could have went left. But because they are mature males, like I noticed it could have went there, but because
it could have went left.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Oh God, like you said it perfectly. And like there's another book called The Four Agreements or the Five Agreements. It say don't make assumptions. Just perfect example. Because then I had to get rid of that thought. I'm like, dang, man, they have a difference of opinion. I'm like, man, I hope nothing don't pop off. That's me assuming something will pop off because it's fragile being a man and being open about, your perspective, and people can take that and skew it into a way that you ain't even never really meant. Right. But it's just like, dang, bro, like, so you're absolutely right. Like the tension can be so
but it's about
tender, man.
But that's because some of these boys, because I don't call them men.
Yeah.
That's because some of these boys are tender.
Yeah.
They tender.
Hey, bro,
because if you think about it, how am I to take if we having a disagreement? You ain't call me no name. You ain't raised
no disrespect.
There was no disrespect. He had his opinion, or his feelings of how he said it, whatever. I said my piece. I said what I had to say. There's a mutual respect that's just given because he's not telling me anything. You know what I'm saying? So now if I'm insecure or one of these tender boys out here, right? Now all of a sudden I see what you're saying as an attack on me. No, we just have two various perspectives on what we're talking about.
Right.
And each perspective has been influenced by the experiences that we've had. So if I respect him in his experience, I know he's not attacking me.
Right.
Yeah.
And also too, that's standing up. Most people are passionate about. One thing about most people, whatever they believe in, whatever their thing is, they're passionate about it, and they're going to stand on top of the mountains and tell everybody about it.
But we also have to understand that you can be passionate without being emotional.
Exactly.
Right. You can.
And sometimes people mistake. Sometimes people mistake passion for emotion.
Emotionalism, yeah.
Right.
And if I'm passionate about how I feel, I tell the boys all the time, we got to play with passion and without emotion.
Break that down for us.
Play with passion. Like with emotion has to do with how I feel. Passion is about my love.
Right. Yeah. And emotions gonna come and go.
Emotions are gonna come and go. My passion stays consistent.
Right.
I'm going hard because I love this.
I love to go hard. Right.
My emotions can sway because this person said I suck. Now all of a sudden I gotta prove to him I'm not suck.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't suck.
You don't have to.
So now I gotta go one-on-one.
I gotta go out my way.
I gotta make a bucket now.
I was getting rid of it.
You know what I'm saying? We have to.
We
have to act, and we have to make decisions without emotion.
I'm telling you, man.
Which is 9 times out of 10, and I don't want nobody in my inbox, but 9 times out of 10, what separates men from women, we make decisions on logic. Women most likely make decisions on emotion, and any man who makes decisions on emotion has now become a boy.
Man, I 100% agree.
Just think about that, man. Go ahead, Reggie.
Yeah, I like what he just. I was thinking the same thing because I try to tell these young guys, man. I work some of them, your character from home, if you're struggling with that, it's going to carry on to the job world, you know, and you got to know how to handle yourself out there because we know what's out there. We ain't even got to get deep. We ain't got to talk about it. We know what's out there. Anybody, black or white or purple, they can come at you in a way that you felt was disrespectful, or it might have was. You still got to know how to handle that in a manner.
Exactly.
You know, so it goes back to everything. Your character has got to do it, how you're going to perform at job, relationships, you know, and this goes for women too, because they're struggling too with it.
And like you said, man, I think being able to control yourself, man. I used to think that getting revenge was one of the strongest things that you could do.
Yeah.
until either I was reading or I watched something, and it said actually. I think I was listening to Bishop Younger preach a message on YouTube.
That's why.
Yep. Yes, sir. I was listening to Bishop Younger preach. And he said, no, what's real strength is being able to say, you know what, I'm gonna let God do that. Being able to control your emotions and not feeling like, for one, like with men, the pride thing, we got to have the last word. My word matters more than yours. I got to be louder. I got to be more boisterous. Because sometimes your pride is the very thing that kills you. Because we don't always have to, like I'm saying, just if we can contain our pride and learn to, you could be emotional, you could be passionate, but your pride ain't got to tell you like get disrespectful, go to the point of making threats and all that. Bro, we all men. At the end of the day, like I said, when these guys did a little thing, and it wasn't nothing, but like I was sitting back, I was like, it'll work itself out. Like, it'll work itself out because go ahead.
I post on social media. I mean to cut you off. I post on social media on TikTok, man, and I tell people happiness is not about fitting in, it's about what you like. And I think that these kids are struggling with that. That's why they're being followers. And like he said, they're being boys and not growing into grown men.
Most definitely.
You know, because they're not confident in what they might like. They're running with these group of guys, but he might see something that he want to do, and he don't want to be in the street no more. But he hate to disappoint them. Just like you said, he don't have his own mind.
You always do it to yourself first, man.
Right.
When it comes to not being honest, you're not honest with yourself first.
Part of the 5 agreements. I read the book.
That's facts, man.
So hold on.
One of the agreements, the 5 agreements. One of them is do not lie to yourself.
Like for real, man. Also, man, another one, always do your best.
Always do your best.
Don't always assume. You know what I'm saying? The book is called, the author is named Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yep, Don Miguel
Ruiz.
And
he has a son too, his junior, of course. But man, Don Miguel Ruiz is somebody that really changed my thought process, man, on a lot. He has one of the first books that I read from Don Miguel Ruiz is called The Mastery of Love. And that book totally transformed what it is for me. And it's not even like love within a relationship. It's like within yourself and what it means to like love yourself in a real way. Right. And one thing that he talks about is like even growing up, when you're young, people always tell you, when you're young, that's when you're your fullest self, your true self. It's only when you become older and, you know, you have the people around you like your parents or your family or your friends telling you what's socially acceptable or the ways for you to be in order to be accepted into society. And once we do those kind of things, doing things from the acceptance of others, we disregard ourselves or we throw ourselves away and we bury the version of our true selves on top of what it is that we truly are. Exactly. And once we deconstruct those things and take these things off that never belonged to us, and become our true selves and do the things that bring us like real joy, that's when you begin to, you know, run into things like this right here for me. Like this is something that I'm passionate about. And one thing me and my brother talk about all the time is just, if you get no applause, would you still be the same way? Like, what's your why? What's your reason for doing it? If nobody ever said congratulations or are you doing a good job, would you still be doing that thing? And that goes into another book I read Don't do things for the applause or for the congratulations. Because first they hail you.
Right.
First they hail you, then they nail you.
Right.
The very first time that you do something that's contrary to what they believe that you should do. Like, man, perfect example. He's the basketball coach. Things are going well right now. As far as I can see, things are going well. Could things be better? Yes. But say, man, he comes up to a challenge of coming over a losing streak. They done lost 4 or 5 games in a row. Man, they're calling for that man's job.
Wait, hold on. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you a few things I've not heard this year. You're doing a good job. I've heard it from my boss. We're on a 10-game winning streak right now, going into the playoffs.
Shout out to y'all for that.
After every game, I've had to deal with a parent who's upset.
Over what?
It doesn't matter. Various reasons. But we just won. So once again, a parent told me, well, how would you do if this was your son? I said, well, let me tell you right now. It is my son. She, what you mean? I said, my son played for the middle school. And guess what? He go to practice every day. I said, before school, he puts up 300 to 400 shots, goes to school, goes to practice. After practice, he works out again. I said, he barely plays. I said, the first game of the season, he got in my car. I was at the game. He got in my car. He was upset. I said, what you upset for? I said, y'all won. What you upset for? I didn't play. I said, so fucking what?
Yeah,
I won.
I said, so what? I said, did you do enough? Did you play as hard? Did you do enough in practice? I said, because I don't know no coach that don't play a kid that can help him win. I don't know not one.
Right.
I said, so you ain't doing something, so you need to figure it out.
Right.
And that was it.
Man, I'm about to
And I
start
said,
calling you
what-
the great philosopher.
I said, and what I need you to do, I said, since you're not playing, I need you to be the first one up, cheering somebody on when they make a 3.
Right.
I said, I need you to be the first one grabbing water to bringing somebody when they come up. I need you to be the first one giving somebody a high five when they come off the floor. I need you to be an ultimate teammate. I said, because a lot of kids don't know how to do that.
I need your continence to be the same.
Exactly. I said,
Yeah.
because what's going to happen is the work going to be the work. We're going to put in the work. And eventually you're going to catch the kids that are ahead of you. But we got to put in the work. And eventually you'll see the results. We ain't got to tell nobody. We ain't got to do nothing.
Right.
We ain't got to post nothing. I said, but at the end of the day, the process is the process.
Yeah.
We're going to sit and watch practice because the coach records practice. We're going to point out what you're doing wrong, what you didn't do, why I could see why he yelled at you here. Now I can see why he didn't play you.
Yeah.
And now you got to hold yourself responsible.
Right.
And from that moment, my son gets in the car and says, I had a bad practice today, Dad.
You done changed his whole mindset.
So now when he comes in and he gets in the
Everybody
game,
want to be the star.
and I told him, I said, your time ain't now. I said, sometimes it's just not your time.
It's not an indicator.
I said, this is the first time you're playing organized basketball at this level. You've never done it.
Yeah, right.
I said, because you just got passionate about basketball. I didn't want to force him in anything.
Right.
Because that's when they resent it. When he started coming to me and saying, hey, Dad, I want to work out. Now we could do that. Now we could take basketball serious because you had to want to do this.
You had one.
Hold on. I got to stop right there. Did you just see that whole full circle moment we just had from the beginning of the conversation to just now? I can work with you now because we have to share responsibility.
Yeah. Now
now you want to do it, but
Yeah, you ain't gonna short me.
You
ain't about to short me.
Because you see the thing.
Good observation.
The thing I
That's
wanted
a
to
beautiful
the
observation.
thing I want my son and my son to know, especially with basketball, just with basketball, you have all the resources you need. My son right now, in his phone, he can call 4 NBA basketball players that are currently playing in the NBA. And just, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Da-da-da. Because I've coached or trained those dudes, and they know him from just being in the gym.
Right.
Multiple college players he could just call.
dang.
Him, he could have went to the NBA draft about 3 times. So I know eventually his basketball talent is going to catch up to his brain, but we have to keep working to get there because he has all the resources that these other kids don't have.
Yeah.
But we have to buy into the process of this,
Yeah.
and I have to teach him the process of things. Sometimes there's a pecking order. You don't come in and you're the most talented. Now, my youngest boy, that's the one. Talent out the wazoo. He could cook his brother's ass all day, every day. But he ain't serious about basketball.
Right.
He just likes sports.
He
don't
just
care.
like sports.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a matter of teaching our kids there's a process and to life. And if you can hold yourself accountable, you will beat the process. Because at the end of the day, if I cannot look in the mirror and find my fault, I will never.
I'm gonna look around for somebody else.
Everybody else.
Just find your fault within yourself and keep it to yourself and just.
And you fix that.
And fix that. You don't got to tell everybody you got an issue.
And two, Yusef, that's beautiful, man. Because even if it doesn't pan out as he sees it for himself, he still has the tools to be around the game of basketball.
He didn't fail.
And not, you know what I'm saying?
And do something else.
Right.
Exactly.
Else.
That's what I'm thinking about, man.
You
just not set him up for basketball.
Conversations we have of him coming back from his games I'm talking about, because when we at the house and we breaking down the game, because we break down the games, even if he didn't play. Hey, what should he have done here? Oh,
exactly.
Yeah, he should have passed it.
He's going to be a player coach, bro.
Right.
Player
and
coach.
so now we're building leadership qualities.
Yes.
And he's dealing with, and he's also dealing with kids kind of having stuff to say, well, your daddy's the coach. So since he's the coach, you here because of that.
Sue me because my dad's the coach. That's
You know what I'm saying? my dad is the varsity. Your dad's the varsity coach, so that's why he's got to deal with little things. And we had something happen the other day. Somebody took his warm up because theirs was messed up. And the rule in my house is your game day stuff you don't touch till game day.
You don't touch it.
All these other kids wear it all day, wear it at school, whatever. So somebody took it, and I stopped them and I said, "You ain't no punk." I said, the second somebody took your stuff. Wasn't no bus. It was a game we had to go. Wasn't no bus going nowhere until I got my stuff back. I said, I don't care if you get your ass kicked. You stand up for you. Yeah. You ain't no punk. You ain't come from no punk. I ain't raising you to be no punk. You, even if you get your ass whooped, stand up for you and what you believe in. Because I said, you're at a pivotal moment right now. You're going to be with these kids for the next 6-7 years. I said, and what's happening now is there's a test.
They're trying to see the pecking order.
They're trying to figure out the pecking order of who could be picked on, who could be taken advantage of. And I said, you're not going to be that. So stand up for yourself.
Right.
You don't need me. I'm not calling coach to get your shit back.
I ain't lying.
You call coach, you take your stuff there, you give it to him, and you tell him, hey, coach, this ain't mine. If I don't ever get mine back, that's cool, but this ain't going to happen again.
Okay. I like everything you just said, man. And I know we pressed for time.
I'm sorry.
No. You good. I got to end. We could end on this one, man. To what you saying, man. It a lot of times when we dealing with these kids, it's more about the mindset and changing that the way you think. I had a little cousin, man. We used to come all the way from Ladder to go watch him play in Florence. He played rec. He wasn't that good in basketball. Okay, cool. I'm traveling all the way from Ladder to Florence to see you play. So every game I go to, man, he doing all the dirty work. He getting the rebounds. He diving on the floor. He doing all this. But he never took a shot in the game. So I watched one game, let him play his move. I'm not expecting you to be no star. Came to another game. He did the same thing. So after the game, that made me mad. I said, listen. I said, when you get in the game, I said, and you doing all that you doing, I said, give yourself a chance to make a basket. I said, you don't even give yourself a chance. You won't even take a shot. And he not understanding what I'm telling him. So I'm like, yo, I said, in life, the only way somebody can walk over you is for you to lay yourself down and let them walk over you. I said, if you're doing the work, if you're putting in the work, give yourself a chance. So I said, there's no point for me coming to every game if you're not going to even give yourself a chance to score by not putting up a shot. So I asked him at the end of I said, so we got in the car. I started going my own way. He's my aunt's son, so I called my aunt. I'm like, do you don't think I went too hard on you? Because he started crying. She said, no, his dad passed away. So as his big cousin, that's my responsibility not to let you get that mentality in your head to just let people walk over you. Yeah. And yeah, we're talking about sports, but it's bigger than sports. This is life.
It's life.
It's life. So I called, I said, can you put him on the phone? She said, yeah. I said, you want me to come to your next game? I said, you want me to stay away from your games? I want to test and see what gusto, what you want. He said, nah, come to my next game. I said, all right. I brought our granddaddy to the game. Man, my boy done scored 4 points, man. I about ran on the court, man. And so I said all that to say this, man. when you get a chance to talk to these kids and you deal with these kids, man, everything that we do with these kids ain't got to come off as preachy. But if you could find a place here and a place there to drop a nugget, to give them a nugget, man,
Yeah, do it. Right.
Do it, man.
Okay, for 5-10 minutes.
Where anybody got anything else? I ain't want to, anybody got anything else?
You can go ahead, Reggie.
No, I really enjoyed this.
Word.
Hopefully I can come again. That'll totally be up to y'all. Just want to
talk to the people, Reggie.
Just want to tell the kids and everybody out there, just stay strong and just believe in God.
Most definitely.
Believe in something higher, because people are going to disappoint you. You just can't live off of that.
Okay, we appreciate it. Appreciate you for coming too, man. Definitely.
Man, what I'll say, man, to your point, speaking on your point first, man, you owe you.
Most definitely.
Man, Eric Thomas, he wrote a book about that, man, but New York bestseller, man, you owe you. So if you see yourself, man, doing all this dirty work, putting in the work, putting in the time and the energy, you owe it to yourself to see what you made of. Because those are things that build our confidence, man.
Yeah.
Build our confidence.
Right.
And another point, I believe too, we have to, as men, we have to show more grace. One thing that I realized just for myself, I wasn't, as I got older, it's just like, man, I just didn't become a man. There was things that I had to go through to be considered, in my estimation, a man. Age doesn't make you a man. By no means. It's the way that you handle situations.
Right.
It's how you answer the call. Right. It's how you accept those challenges in life, and how life is going to always be there. Life isn't easy.
Not at all.
But that doesn't give you the identity of being inferior to the things that happen in life.
Right.
And one thing, my last point is, when we talk about mindset, and one thing that's very important, man, even the Bible says, let this mind be in you that is also in Christ Jesus.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? So we have the tools already, as Reggie kind of spoke on. We have the tools already. We have everything that we need.
Right.
We have all the resources that we need to be successful, to be great. And Minister Louis Farrakhan always said, you're already great.
You're already great.
You're already great. So we have to do those things to bring out the greatness that's within us. It's not a matter of doing things to be seen for applause. It's a matter of doing things because that is within us. Those things are within us. So those are the things that I'm going to close out with. Again, Q, always a pleasure, man. Thank you, Reggie. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man.
Man, Yusef, man, I'm glad that you expounded on that, because I like to see how men think. I want to hear how men think and how they respond to a different kind of perception. So man, you doing that, bro?
Hey man, listen, I'm telling, this is my piece, man. This is where I gotta be. I don't care if it's in this building. At home, if it's just me, this is where I am, man. I'm getting the teachings. Man.
Right, man, you the great boy, man. You about like a great
I'm
philosopher,
telling you,
man.
dog. Like
this dude here,
I'm telling you,
dude,
man.
different, man.
I've lived a good bit.
How old are you, Yusef?
48. I just turned 48 in December.
Right.
I've lived a good bit. I've been homeless. I've been
likewise.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things. Biggest lesson I ever got. Mom put me out the house. I thought I could go to my grandma's house. My grandmother put the chain on the door. She said, "What you want?" She said, "What you want?" I said, "Mommy put me out the house." She said, "I know." She told me. She said, "What you want?" I said, "Grandma, I need somewhere to stay." Now, this is a woman who never told me no, ever. She said, "You in school?" I said, "No." She said, "You got a job?" I said, "No." She said, "Well, come back when you got one of the two. Close the door." Bam. So now I blamed everybody. Blame my mother for putting me out. I blame my daddy for being a heroin addict and not being there. I blame my grandmother for not opening that door. And I ended up riding the trains, sleeping on the subway, sleeping in parks, catching a shelter when I could. And I ended up at a shelter one night. Old dude, call me Young Blood. Young Blood, you don't look like you belong out here.
That's old school, right there.
Yeah, Young Blood, you don't look like you belong out here. I said, man, and I tell him the story, whatever. He like, so where your grandma live at? I said, she lived, in Flatbush. What block? I said, 31st Street. What's the house number? I said, what you want my grandma house number for? He said, because if she wants all she wants is somebody to have a job or go to school, all I need is an address. I'm going to go there right now, and I'm going to ask her for some help. He said, you need to take your ass off your shoulders and go ask her for some help.
But he's telling you it ain't that bad.
Yeah, so
it's not that bad.
I go, my grandma put the chain on the door again. She said, what you want? I said, Grandma, I just want help. Just help me get a job. I don't want to stay. I just, can you help me get a job?
Right.
She said, if you're serious, meet me at my job at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I was sitting out there at 7 in the morning. And, you got to carry, when you're homeless, you got to carry your shit. So I hid my stuff behind the subway station. and I'm out there, and I'm like, and I'm waiting on her. She says, oh, you made it. I said, yeah. She's okay. She walks in, comes back out, gives me a uniform. You got a job. Gives me a key to the house. She said, you start work tomorrow. And now you can stay at the house. I said, like, we couldn't do this months ago? Like, we could have did this months ago. She said, there's a difference between needs and wants. She said, I needed you to need to be something. She said, you just wanted a place to stay. And I needed you to need it.
Right.
And now you've been where you don't want to go back.
Right.
Funny thing is, she was the head of payroll for NYU. She only answered to the president of the school, the president of the university. And my stepmom at the time was the head of the cafeteria, was the supervisor. My first job, washing dishes for $17 an hour. That's the job my grandma got me. I was able to stay. When I went to school, when I decided to go to college, I was 21 years old. My grandma said, don't worry about working. Don't worry about nothing. I'll pay for everything.
Wow.
She said, I just want you to get your degree. You finally got it together.
Amen.
I just want you to get your degree. And to this day, I can't sit still. I have to be on the ground because I don't want to be homeless again. I know what that feels like. And I never want to feel it again. I never want to hold another 10 asking people for money. I never want to be going hungry. I never want to ask my brother to let me in the house to take a shower. I don't never want to do that again.
Man.
So I know that a lot of the stuff I say, but it's from my experiences of messing, of completely just jacking everything up.
And listen,
being a 21-year-old freshman in college, living on campus, after you done been on your own, and you didn't see that.
Culture shock.
But I also,
and I'm in the South, coming from New York. But I'm just saying, so that's why my perspective on things is sometimes a little bit different, because I kind of lived before I was supposed to.
Right.
But it was my fault.
Right.
And I didn't realize it was my fault until I hit rock bottom. So once again, you just, if you say, to bring it back full circle, if you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And I was saying yes to doing BS, which would mean no to whatever it was.
Yeah, and
Kill the music, man. Kill the music, man.
All right.
Man, that man he sent us out here, bro. I ain't got nothing else to say.
Yeah, I was about to say, you could just kill it, bro.
I ain't got nothing else to say. He sent us out here, bro.